What up? I'm getting. Let me share this link over here so we can get to the intro.
Hey, everybody, welcome. We see you popping on in all the places: Facebook, YouTube, IG.
IG.
It's on and popping.
We doing what we does. I thought I posted it. I'm always having something technical going on posting it, but let's get the show
And I don't
started.
know why it's always once the live button is pushed.
Exactly.
Like,
It's not until you hit live that
why
I'm
is
always
this
having it.
not? And
And it's not like this is not for. Wait, hold up. 'Cause I
hey,
was
y'all.
interacting as
Welcome
cross.
to Crossroads
What?
Podcast Live. We're so glad to have you. While you're waiting, or please go ahead and share this broadcast. If you're watching us, wherever you're watching us, go ahead and hit the share button. Send to your friends and families. We are about to get the party started. Also, drop in the comments and let us know that you're here. Say hey, and we'll go ahead and shout you out. So that's important. Hey, I see N Miller 006. Welcome to the party. Also, if you are watching the Crossroads group, you'll have to give StreamYard permission so that we can see your names. I'm going to go ahead and drop a link in the group for you as well so that you can see how to do that. Because generally, if you're in the group and you send us a comment, we can't tell who you are. We can see the comment, we just can't see you. So I'm going to go in and do that. All right. Other than that, we are ready to go. I hope we're ready to go.
We ready? It's in the news feed. I just didn't see it on my page, so I probably just posted it twice. But
Oh,
it
that's
is
me.
what it is. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. I didn't know my phone was still up, but there
See,
we
you
go.
be talking about me.
Yeah, but I don't turn my back to the. Hey, hi, Nelson.
You got all the shots when we go.
I'm just like, it's all good.
Let me
But
get my glasses on so I can see you. All right, we ready to go?
yeah.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man, Hunter Grand, your personal agent for change, making life easy, Barzini.
And I'm fempreneur extraordinaire, tech diva all day, Dre Renee.
And this is the Crossroads, where there's only one rule.
Be free to be you.
You know, eventually we're going to
Hey,
have to add
Miss
some new
Jones.
rules. Nadia Jones, turn me up in the headphones. Listen, I got one goal in life, and that's to make her a rapper.
She doesn't want to be a rapper.
She just got a dope rap name, Nadia Jones. Like, I'm telling you, Nadia Jones is bars.
Yeah, she want to be a rapper.
Huh? I mean, I'll even ghostwrite for her. She just got to deliver.
Oh, okay. Well, she might. We'll see.
We get paid. So what's going on with you this week?
Oh, she just said I just need a ghostwriter. So shoot, it sounds like it could be a thing.
Bet. Let's do it. Let's get it done.
Sounds like it could be a thing. Hey, Aaron, Merry Christmas to everybody. So yeah, Christmas just passed. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah, happy. Everybody, all the things that you may celebrate, or hey, celebrate it all. You might just be glad to have days off from work. And if that is the case, shout out to you.
Yeah, I'm hoping just people are able to get outdoors because I spent my Christmas in bed because motherfucking COVID is out in these streets out here. I didn't have it. I didn't know I didn't have it. I was exposed.
You said you didn't have it and you didn't know that you didn't have it?
Right. So I was exposed. I saw a friend and I later got the call that she had tested positive. And so, of course, I got to go into quarantine because I'm exposed. And I couldn't get like a home test anywhere. All the testing sites were like appointment only, and you couldn't get an appointment for like 2-3 days out. It was just crazy. And so it took me like 5 days or so to actually get tested, and
Oh,
then
dang.
yeah, I tested negative.
Well,
But
that's the positive of it all.
I
Hello.
mean, and so,
Being
but you know what
there.
the craziest part is? I was most upset that I couldn't like get up and move around. But had I known I was negative the whole time, that's what I've been doing anyways, being in the house.
Hmm.
It's just I hated the fact that I didn't have the choice. So
Well, I was happy to be turned down for the holidays, so you don't catch me upset about it at all.
yeah,
But for those of you who are in the comments, drop in and let us know how you spent your holiday. How are you feeling? Hopefully, nobody has been to COVID, but as we know, there's been the variant has been popping
right.
as
Do
of
we get
late.
a new one yet? Or are we still on Omarion?
As far as I know, we're still on Omicron.
The onomatopoeia variant.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to get you in my headphones and
Mm.
oh, there you go.
Test,
Okay.
test, check, check.
Yeah, yeah. I probably got to get IG a little further back. My iPad does not turn all the way down.
Oh, that's
So
probably what
there's
I'm
that.
hearing.
It
Gotcha.
doesn't go all the way down. So try to get you away from the microphone.
Oh,
All right, y'all.
so
So yeah, as
and
far as I know, it's still Omicron. I've been so used to
okay,
saying it wrong, but it's still Omicron.
yeah, nah. Why is that word so hard for people to pronounce, y'all? Omicron, Omicron.
Yeah.
Like it's not that difficult,
I
especially
saw
for us
somebody
Greeks.
call it Omicron. I was like, Jesus.
That sounds like a damn transformer. I don't get it.
That's
Well, hopefully Omarion, Omicron, onomatopoeia didn't keep you locked up over the holiday. And if you were locked up, I hope that y'all had sex. So
funny.
I like saying shit they don't expect. So drop in the comments if you had sex on Christmas Day. We
Oh
want to
my
know.
gosh. I don't really, but we'll
I
let
mean,
it go.
maybe I have to live vicariously through the audience's life.
I was just trying to figure out what everybody did. I didn't see any comments about anything on Christmas, so maybe everybody was chilling.
I mean, that's one thing, you know. Oh, and off the rip, y'all, off the rip. We're gonna drop the link if you don't have it already. But if y'all are watching this on IG or Facebook, head over to YouTube and watch us there. So
Yeah,
for I
especially if you're on Instagram, because I
yeah,
feel like we might need to cut y'all just because of if he
right.
can still hear
So
himself.
right. So everyone on IG, if this is your first time with us, this is the backstage experience, the behind the scenes experience that you're getting on IG, but the real show was going on over on YouTube. So if you click the link in either of our bios, you can go to the YouTube page, and we're live on YouTube right now, and you can get the whole live experience. But I mean, if you're staying over there, you can still hear the conversation, but you won't be able to interact the way that they will on the other platforms. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
I'm gonna
So
drop
check
the
out.
YouTube.
Yeah, we're dropping the YouTube link on all the platforms for everybody to join us. So bam,
Absolutely.
technology.
Because I know my mama ain't watching. I know that's right. I know that's right.
That's
But,
funny.
well, my mama probably watching, but it is
What
what
is
it
that?
is.
Is that to say you got it in?
I think that's what it was. Uh-oh.
Oh, okay, nasty.
We ain't mad. Merry Christmas.
I'm not mad at it at all. I advocate nastiness. Just be safe and discriminate. Indiscriminate
All of
nastiness is
the
not
above.
God's best for your life. Um, but before we get into a whole lot of anything, let us do what we need to do early on, which is pay these bills.
All right, Bills.
All right, bills. So, y'all, as always, the Crossroads podcast is brought to you by the House of 334.
Uh-oh. I pushed the button, but it didn't. It didn't respond. And I was ready. It's the house.
It is the house. Y'all, for all your business branding and copyright needs, go to houseof334.com. It is black owned, it is woman owned, it is amazing. Also, the Crossroads podcast is brought to you by the Crossroads podcast. So, y'all, again, wherever you are, head to the YouTube page. Especially if you're on Facebook, it's the same experience, but we get the viewership, and we want you to make sure that you subscribe to that. So we're still on our mission to get to 10,000 subscribers, and we cannot do it without you. So go to the live, scroll down, hit subscribe, hit the notification button so you can get the notifications from when we go live and when new episodes are up. And you'll always be connected with us. Also, those who want to donate to the Crossroads, we are so thankful for those who continue to donate. This is a labor of love, but love ain't free. And if you think it is, go tell your landlord that you love them. You can give a little, you can give a lot. We appreciate it just the same. But we want to be able to contribute to keep this thing going. So
Absolutely. Shout out to Nelson. Said he found us. He went from IG over to YouTube, and shout out to you. I
now,
believe he's a first timer here. So welcome to the cross. Now you can see what
oh,
we're talking about. It's a totally
right,
different
Nelson.
experience.
I need you to drop a comment and let us know because you were on IG and tell everyone what this experience is like, just visually and everything else versus the IG experience. Like, let them know so people can head over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Whew. Well, so we've gotten through Christmas. We are staring 2022 in the face.
In yeah, yeah. You got any resolutions?
Just keep getting better. I'm just taking everything one step at a time. As a newlywed, my priority is to invest into myself and my
Mhm.
family. I
Yeah.
have done for everybody. I've
Mhm.
done what I was supposed to do. I've been a good, daughter as far as I'm concerned. Oh,
And
look
now
at
a
that.
good wife.
And
Bam.
so right now, moving into this next journey, my goal is to be a good wife. And, if God says the same, good mom. And, that requires
Mhm.
me to focus. I also want to be an excellent podcaster, like and content creator and all of that.
Bam. It's kind of hard for you to beat your 2021. Uh you had a year.
I was reading some people's statuses where they're just like, oh, 2021 for some people it's worse than 2020 or mention. I was like, dang, I really had a
But like that wasn't my experience.
I had a phenomenal year.
Yeah, it's a
Yes,
lot.
rolling into 2022 with a different mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's all about that shifts a
Hmm.
lot for us when we can change what's
Hmm.
going on up here.
Yeah. And that just like the conversation we had earlier is shifting some mindsets and kind of getting honed in on a lot of the things y'all I have something big that I'm working on now, and I'm kind of masterminding the rollout, so we're gonna let y'all know about that pretty soon as well, and get y'all involved. And spoiler alert, get some money in y'all's pockets. So if you're interested in that, definitely make sure that you stay connected to us because that's going to be rolling out real soon. After I have some consultations, and Dre doesn't know she's going to be giving me a consultation pretty soon on a couple of moves. So
Oh, she sure doesn't know.
comes with the package.
Oh, I have an entertainment channel on Roku. If you guys are interested, I'm broadcasting there. Okay, so can you send us an email or a DM? You can email. Go ahead. I'm gonna throw up the email address, or if it's easier for you to DM us with some details, that would be phenomenal.
Bam.
And would love to hear, what the opportunity looks like and what it will take from us, and we can talk about it in the new year.
Look at that, networking on the crossroads. It's the intersection of entertainment and business that just happened right before y'all eyes, y'all.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
yeah, we appreciate that opportunity definitely. So we're always looking to grow, get better, making the content dope. And if you haven't seen a lot of our content right now, we're actually on an official hiatus from our recording. So that's why we're doing a live. So for those of y'all who aren't caught up, we have over 70 hours of content on the YouTube channel. So feel free to go just dive in anywhere. It's all great content. We've been getting lots of great feedback, and we want to come back even stronger in 2022 for y'all. But going into the 2022, this has been an interesting week. Like, news has been coming out all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And before we get to our official topics, something that just came up today. I don't know if you know who John Madden is, but he passed away at 85
Oh,
years old.
like football?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's your squad, former
It's
coach.
Madden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Madden, like everybody's the John Madden, he passed away today at
Oh,
age 85. So we just want to send our prayers to the family and just the NFL community and everybody that he's touched. Whether you are affiliated with the NFL or not, just every kid that's ever played this game since the 90s,
right.
it
Yeah.
spans back all the way to Sega Genesis. Everybody's playing Madden. And so that's a huge loss to the football community and just the world, and the impact that he's made. So huge shout out to celebrating the life of John Madden.
Yes. And in the past few days, Archbishop Desmond
And
Tutu
Tutu,
passed
yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
So
Oof.
yeah, that's
Whew.
tough.
In memoriam, yeah. But I think, it's when you leave the legacy that they did and live a full life, like, it hits, but I think there's a sense of peace as well. Like, um it's hard to say gone too soon when you're in your 80s, you know.
Hmm.
And when you've
And
done
when
as
you've
much.
done something with your right, I want to say when you've done something with your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, I think the gone too soon, maybe gone too soon doesn't have to do with age, but more impact. Like, what when you leave this earth, and because you don't know when you're going to leave,
Hmm.
what's going to remain of you, and that's just one of my biggest drivers for my life is impact and legacy. I want the world to know that I was here. And at my job, we have one of our sayings is leave the place better than you found it.
Hmm.
And a lot of that's talking about when you're using someone's space, you want to clean it up, but it's also talking about when you're working with kids, you want to leave people better than you found them, you
Mm,
know. And so on a more macro level, you want to leave this earth better than you found it. And so what does that
right.
look like? What are your contributions to the world, and how does your daily life contribute to that? So yeah, just being very intentional, yeah, in that
That's good.
space. But
Well,
speaking of
that's what
someone
the
else,
2022 is looking up
yeah,
for
yeah.
everybody.
But someone who's left an impact in music and hip hop had someone else leave an impact in their bank account on today.
Oh, Jesus.
So Dr. Dre's ex-wife has left an impact to the tune of $100 million.
Yeah.
And a settlement, he settled for 100 million.
I think he's pretty happy because wasn't
Uh-huh.
she asking for millions a month or something like that?
I think so. Well, I
She was
forgot what
getting
was
like,
it.
I mean, while they were trying to figure out the settlement, she asked for or was
Was that like 2 million a month or something
a
like that?
month. Yeah.
Yeah. So
That would have, what are we looking
right.
at?
Well, no, no,
Perhaps
no,
in the
no.
in the next 4 years,
Well,
she would
no.
have
I think the
already hit.
math. I think it was less than that. I think the math turned out to be like, what was it, like 8 million a year? I think when
Okay,
we was
but
doing that
still, he
math.
would have hit
Right.
that
But yeah, so
after a
over
decade.
how many years you would have hit that and then some, because that
Hmm.
was in perpetuity, I believe, like for the rest of her life, or until she gets married again. And who's gonna get married? Like,
Yeah.
how do you holler at somebody that dated a billionaire? Like, when like, do you have the conversation of what do you bring to the table with somebody?
Like I'm Dr. Dre's ex-wife.
All
I
right, I'm
bring 100
bringing a
M's.
hundred million tax-free dollars to the table. So we're like, and you? He's like, oh, well, I'm a teacher.
Oh Lord, yeah, yeah.
Like, hey, so lady, you know what? Drop this in the chat, ladies. If you were in that situation, in that fortuitous situation, because I think it's fortuitous for both of them. He got off a little bit easy, and she came up on 100 million, so she's good forever. Um, if you had $100 million from a divorce settlement, what do you expect a man to bring to the table? right? Like, does his job then matter? Does his, you know, does his income matter? Like,
Look, you know
and
what
I'm
you
not, yeah,
expected him to bring to the table, and it
right.
ain't to the table.
I mean, like, what do you? Because you know, we always have that debate in the back and forth about, oh, he should be paying all the bills and like, do you still expect that? Like,
No,
what do you expect now?
it's all under the table at that point. That's all that matters. If she
You
got
know,
all the money, she's
right? So I'm saying, if you get remarried, it's like, hey, did you got it? Does he got to work? Like, what's it look like?
probably not.
Because I
Because
was like,
that's why those type of women generally wind up with younger men, because
listen, I
then the
might be
only
low
thing.
key offended. Like, we married, and I still got to go to work. To do what? What's
Not to take me out like this. Yeah, right. Don't kill me for my money.
mm-mm.
Just put it down and move.
But like think about it. Think about it. That's that income is literally like the little gun on Harlem Nights. Right, like you come home to this mansion or whatever she living in, pulling up and whatever the cars is looking like, and you know, like, hey, here go my 50,000 for the here go my W-2. Let's
Well, as a man, really, how do you feel about, not you,
mhm.
as men, I guess, the general, how would you feel in a situation like that? Like, could you exist in a situation like that? Which is interesting
Hell yeah.
because we talk about, oh, right. Okay. So we talk about, oh, having to provide and women wanting you pay for everything. And then if you're in the reverse situation,
Mhm.
how many men would be comfortable? Like, I'm going to just let her.
As comfortable as 100 million is gonna get. Like,
Okay.
okay, because if you think about the objective, right? The
Mm-hmm.
objective is to work hard to one day not have to work.
Mm-hmm.
So said day could be earlier than anticipated. So what am I working towards now? We married, blah blah blah. And if we get divorced, you're gonna see me in the news with a settlement.
My God.
Ex-husband
Well,
gets
I'm
50
not
million
mad.
dollars.
What's good for the goose is definitely good for her. But I'll just say, I mean, for Dr. Dre himself, he definitely got off easy, if you will. I mean, $100 million is a lot of money, but when you're damn near a billionaire, um, you know, take
I
it and
mean,
go in peace.
10% is better than 50.
Yeah, that's what I'm just like. Take that and go in peace. And imagining what kind of person he was during the marriage, girl, take your
Like,
100 M's,
wait,
take your
hold
100.
up, hold up.
Oh, we not gonna act like we don't know
I don't
what.
know. I
Okay,
like
well, we know allegedly
see
that
that's
Dr.
two
Dre liked to talk
contradictory
with his
statements.
hands.
That's too contradictory. We know allegedly.
Yeah,
Like,
because I gotta cover us. I gotta, I gotta cover us. I always gotta cover us.
no,
But we
we've
have heard
heard
allegedly that Dr. Dre likes to, he
from
likes
who,
to do
Michelle,
more than produce with.
who from
Okay,
Michelle A?
so yeah, one.
The one that went from Dre to Suge Knight. Like,
I mean, her look, clearly she had been bopped upside her head because her decision making was skewed.
look, I'm just saying, how bad could it have been if you go from bad to worse? And
Oh
we've
well.
seen Suge Knight at the club choking some chick out. Like,
Well, some
have you seen that video?
people, huh?
Have you seen that video?
Michelet? Oh,
No,
Suge
of
Knight?
Suge. Hmm.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Like, so he's dancing with some woman. He's clearly like faded out of his mind, and like she's dancing with her back to him and stuff like that. And then he puts his arm around her, and it's like just starts like choking her, like. But he's like dancing, but like like
Is he's not aware that he's choking her, or he's
I don't know. Like, it's so it looked like it came so natural to him. I'm gonna have to find the video and show it to you. But it's
well,
like,
some people get off on those types of things, so
I don't
so
think she was getting off on it.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it looked like this is shit. Like what I'm gonna do.
He was being shook.
Right.
He was being shook.
She like cigar in one hand, her neck in the other arm, like a whole rear naked choke. It was disturbing to watch, actually.
Well, I'm glad I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was.
I'm glad I didn't see it.
Yeah.
Well, this is the moment I'm sure that most people have been waiting for.
Lord have mercy,
Insecure
Jesus.
series finale recap discussion
More discussion. It's not a
argument.
recap.
I don't know what. Well, it's a recap because you need us to recap it. So,
So I did. I saw the beginning of the episode.
mhm.
Now, for those of y'all who don't like, I've only seen one whole episode of Insecure that I watched for the purposes of the podcast. I had to do research, so I was trying to do the research today, and I ended up having to get some other things done. So I only got up to the part. Oh, and if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert: we're about to talk about the episode.
Right, yeah.
So we don't
Go
want y'all
out
to
and come
leave,
back.
but you might have to watch the replay on YouTube. But definitely give us your thoughts and opinions. So I got up to the part to where they went to go see their homegirl like out of town, the light skinned one.
Tiffany.
Yeah, whatever. And okay, her. Yeah, so they had got there, and then she's showing the new dude that she met, and that's where I stopped. So I saw like the recap from I guess the previous episode when him and the other dude she was dating got in a fight at some party.
Yes.
And then I saw like they pulled up and he was like, I can't do this toxic. I've been feeling like this for a minute. And she's like, no, don't you want to go upstairs and talk about it? And he was like, nah. And she was like, all right. And then it was like 2 birthday parties, I guess.
Okay, let's just stop. I'm just like I said. Let me recap it. You handicapping it. Okay, let me recap it.
She was
Golly.
like, you are not doing a good job right now.
The butchering of it all. Okay, so the episode is wrapping up the series from the and it's speeding, which was something that I did not necessarily like. It's speeding us through a couple of years of their lives by celebrating their birthdays.
Mhm.
So at the end of the last video, at the end of the last episode, they made a pact when Tiffany was moving away that they would always be there for each other's birthdays. So
Mhm.
even though she's moving away, they're like, hey, let's make sure that we support each other and we're there for each other's birthdays. So what we see in the final episode is each person's birthday. Now, it took me a minute,
Mhm.
right? Because we
Figure that out.
started with Molly's birthday and then Issa's birthday seemed like a day, right? Because so I was like,
I
wait.
felt like they changed clothes and went from one party to
Yeah.
another.
I was like, I didn't realize their birthdays were so
So
close together.
right, yeah.
But no, they were supposed to be sending us through this time warp over
Mhm.
the course of a year, which actually in a couple of years, because we saw Molly and Issa at least have multiple birthdays.
Mhm.
So, anyways, each person they're trying to wrap their stories up on their birthdays. So
Mhm.
Tiffany moved to Denver, which we knew. The friends came to visit her, which they said they would. And that's the part that really kind of bothered me because I didn't get closure about it. Tiffany said she was miserable. And
Mhm.
so even though at the end of the episode we saw her in a different state, which I'll get to, it never really talked about whether like did she become okay? And I know you don't know, but anybody that really watches Insecure knows that there was an episode where she like broke out. Like she was going through postpartum depression with her first child and like disappeared. And so for her to have followed her husband in this lucrative career opportunity, which apparently had great, wonderful, but she's now living in a place away from her, her friends. I'm not sure what type of family support. It sounded like, his family is like, hey, and then they out. So that part wasn't really clear. Somebody else, or maybe you have a different take on like how Tiffany developed or wound up. Please go ahead and drop comments. I would love to hear. Kelly. Kelly is the next friend, curly hair, started, as the big girl, uh, butt of all the jokes, like that general kind of character that we saw. But by the end of the series, had decided to have a baby, which was interesting because I thought she said you didn't want to have a kid, but she met this guy, fell in love, and made an announcement at her birthday party that she was having a baby. Now, y'all help me, because after that she never looked pregnant. So we go through the time warp, we never saw a baby and she never looked pregnant. So I don't know what happened. Did Kelly have a baby? However, Tiffany wound up pregnant again. Like we saw her toward the end of the episode. Um, then there's Molly. Molly touched me the most. Molly touched me more than
And that's the
her.
natural haired one, right?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
cut her hair off. Yvonne Orji. She touched me more than I thought she would. Her story did, because everybody was like focused on Issa. Who is Issa gonna choose? I really never even thought about. I didn't even think about Molly. But Molly has been, a freaking train wreck throughout the series, trying to figure out this whole love and relationship thing. And ultimately, she fell in love with her coworker, who becomes a partner at her firm. And then at the end of the series, we see Torian and Molly, who are like the least likely pair to even date, get married. And I was just like stuck, but it was the most beautiful thing to see Molly happy. Now, unfortunately, also through that kind of time warp, we saw Molly lose her mother, and her mother was really the type like, when you gonna get and have some put some beans in the oven? Like she was that type. And
Hmm.
so for Molly to get there, so to speak, and her mom not be there, that was kind of like a bittersweet moment. To take us back kind of up on the incline, we have Issa and Molly's relationship being like, and I think if you see people's kind of um their think pieces on Insecure as you're scrolling, you'll probably, and I've seen this a couple of times, the real love story is Molly and Issa.
Hmm.
And it's because, we've watched their friendship kind of ebb and flow. And last season, there was a break to the point where they weren't speaking. And then by this season, and I wasn't a big fan of this season, but I think the best part of the season is that they not only reconcile, they seem to be even better. So Issa's right there when she gets married. She's there when her mom has a stroke. Mom passes. She's there when she develops this new relationship. She's there when she, of course, gets married. So seeing that was a great homage to friendship, as far as I'm concerned. And then the end, which is what, I was there for personally. Who is Issa going to end up
This seemed like one big ass bachelorette,
with?
like with the who she gonna choose, and then like here's the finale or some shit.
Yeah, we just wanted to know, she gonna go back home or not? And again, for those of you who don't necessarily watch Insecure, um, you know, quick synopsis. Lawrence and Issa were together. Lawrence was going through a really hard time, depressed for years. We're not talking about a little bit of time, years. Didn't know how to verbalize that. They worked through that rough patch, but in between, like the working through, Issa reconnects with her crush. Shout out to Daniel. And winds up cheating. Like it's a one night situation, and Lawrence figures it out. He's extra hurt because they had kind of reconciled and got themselves together. But that this happens that they weren't necessarily. So the next few seasons just kind of watches them try to figure out their situation apart, and then do this just over and over. This is like never quite. And last season, they finally was right here.
Mhm.
And I'll just tell you, shout out to Lawrence Hive. I was for it. Now last week I told you in my real life I'm not for it, but on the I don't know if that
But
is
for entertainment purposes.
hypocritical or not. I told hashtag boo last night. I was like, look, or Sunday night. I was fictional character, so
Mhm.
shout out to. But in real life, in my life, I was an absolute hell no. In that type of situation, but I think the difference for me is that I saw two people that I felt really were trying to find their way back to each other. Like it's different when it's like one person that wants the other person and they're trying to, look at me, or somebody that messed up and they have done the work and they're like, please take me back, please take me back. But here I literally felt like both of them were like, shit, I tried being away from you. I tried being mad at you. I tried forgetting you. I tried sleeping with somebody else. I tried all these things. And even though both of them went on to become huge successes in their careers, that personal life situation was like, well, this person's cool, but they're not you. And so, spoiler alert, they wind up back together. Of course,
Okay, so
Lawrence is now with baby in tow,
mhm.
but they wind up, back
So at
together
the end,
and at least engaged.
she chose Lawrence, and
She
they got
chose Lawrence.
engaged. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, and,
Got
well, and I'm not sure if it's a chose because after that, because you watched the end of, I guess, last episode, you saw Nathan withdraw, right?
right, and
And
so
so,
that's why I was like, "Where's the choice coming?"
yeah, yeah, it's not. I was like, oh, maybe it's not
So
a
I
choice.
guess it was the choice of whether or not to get back with Lawrence. Sounds like
Right,
gotcha.
right. So yeah, wasn't a choice between Nathan and Lawrence because Nathan
Mhm.
removed himself from the situation. Was child. Or if you would have seen, you would have been cracking up. I was like, bye, bye. Hashtag was like, damn, you would think you know him. I was like, I've been waiting for him to be gone since season 4. Just
Damn.
bye.
But so I want to rewind because when I saw the little clip of them getting into it at the party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that there?
He
You know what I'm
was,
saying?
oh God, look at
Oh,
this. I know, I'm like, oh, for those of y'all who can't see it, we must have made it. We got
yeah. The bots is in the building,
the bots have turned bots have turned up.
and that came. Listen, and that came with a vengeance. Vengeance. I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Well, I got them up
How
on
you
out of
talk about
here.
the Nazi party in Chinese or whatever that is,
And the Ku Klux Klan.
and the Klan. Ooh, we
Child.
done got race bombed.
We did. But I had to get them out fast. You see me? I was like,
Mhm.
bloop, 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 block.
Yeah.
Block party. Okay, now I forgot what your question was after that.
No, I was saying, what was like? Why would you do that?
Oh, why
You
would
know
you
what I
do
mean?
that?
Like at that
Desperation.
there, but you got her number, bro.
Yeah. Well, of course it's the TV show,
I
but
mean,
I can just imagine that it felt like this
like
is my
Dwayne Wayne,
moment.
I get.
Especially, here we
Like
go. This is the part did you see that whole episode or
no,
just pieces? Okay,
I
so this is the
know. I
part you
just saw
might have
like
missed.
like the recap, but going into this episode.
Okay,
So
so in between that, so there was a moment where Nathan and Lawrence were kind of going head to head. They were
is that
talking
the
about
barbecue thing?
yes, but they were really, and
Mhm.
so Nathan played the trump card and me and Issa are looking at play. So her brother, Issa's brother was asking about getting a haircut or something
Mhm.
like that. And so he was like, nah, man, I'm out because Issa and I are looking at places all day tomorrow. So I think Lawrence was like, oh, I got to do something before they sign their name on this lease.
Yeah, but still, like, bro, it's they're not signing tomorrow.
Yeah,
But
no, it
like,
definitely
so
was not the
because
place for it, but
right, because people were making the comparisons to different world finale, right? Well, that wasn't even the finale, but the wedding, right?
please, baby,
Baby, yeah,
please.
baby, please. Now that wasn't like nah, like Dwayne, like she's at the altar, bro. So this is
Yeah,
literally now or never,
it is.
right? So
But somebody's
that was
dime has been spent at this point. I can't
that was
imagine how he kept
desperation.
his teeth. My goodness.
Hey, when she said I do, what can you do? Like, who teeth you really about to knock out? Because she looked at you, was like, nah, and then looked at him and was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? But it raises a lot of questions, y'all. So there was a discussion. Oh, it was in the community when we were talking about like
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna
circling
go
back,
into that too.
you
Mm-hmm.
know, and the common sentiment, um, people was like, "Oh, you a clown? You keep going back, da da da." But sometimes that's just your person. You
And
know what
is
I
there
mean?
anything
Like,
wrong with that? Because, and again, these are little details that you would have missed by not seeing the whole episode. She really tried to go on. She had met
mhm,
somebody else in this kind of cycle.
mhm,
And Molly, who
mhm,
is, her platonic person, was like, why does this have to be a particular way? Like, if this makes sense to you, then
mhm,
that's really all that matters. And
right.
and ultimately I think that's what kind of gave her, the permission, if you will,
Mhm.
to call him and to be like, look, let's work this thing out. But yeah, we spend so much time. I was I was reading some people's thoughts, and they were so very like, this is how it must be. And I'm
Yeah.
like, no,
Right. Right.
this is
Quick.
probably how it must be for you,
Right.
or this
Quick
is how
pause.
it
Quick
was
pause.
for you.
For
Mhm.
those of you again on IG, if you're watching this on IG, please go ahead and click the link in the bio and head over to YouTube. That's where the real show is going. Right now, what you're watching is the behind the scenes of the actual show, which is happening on YouTube right now. So
I
click
think
the
it's
link in
just
the
me and
bio.
you here.
Oh, well, it might be. I thought I saw one in there. But
I
if
think we
somebody
sent to
there,
everybody.
hold up. If anybody there, you know,
I think it's
lady
just
folks.
us over there.
Well, when y'all come in, damn it, I'm gonna say it again now. Anyway,
Good for you.
I wasn't looking at the numbers actually. I was just
Oh, okay,
I was
okay. I
just
was
saying,
like, I
yeah.
think it's just us.
But but to your point, like, why do we believe that love, marriage, relationships, and everything in between has to be a template? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and how much do we do and conduct ourselves based on the opinions of others and the optics of it, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, damn, I'm gonna look stupid if I go back,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be unhappy and alone because you're worried about what people are going to think. Now, but that's also your fault too, based on what you tell people,
Right.
especially friends and family, because we've already established friends and family don't forgive, you know.
Right.
Um, so those are the risks that you take. But I think that we live in a day and age where the knee jerk is always to run when something goes awry, right? Like one mess up, one mistake, one fight, one uh misinterpretation of facts or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and it's, oh, you need to be out. And it's usually our people telling us this. You know what I mean? Like, who really tells you to stick in and work at it? Who really
Right.
says like, hey, find out this, like the conversations you and I have had, like, okay, this might not be that, blah 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 blah, right?
Mm-hmm.
um and who
Yeah.
do we do
I
who do
think
you really
generally, I think generally our friends and families, they want to spare us, right? The
mm-hmm,
pain and the extra work that it
mm-hmm,
takes.
mm-hmm,
And so it's just easier to tell somebody like, girl, you don't deserve that, or you deserve more, or whatever, because we just don't want. It's the same reason why when people are in pain, we tell people, oh, girl, don't cry.
mm-hmm.
Why not?
Right. Yeah, and
Well,
that's that toxic positivity, you
mm,
know.
everything's
um
toxic nowadays.
Everything's toxic. One, I'm so tired of the word toxic, but it fits in this. But
Toxic
toxic, yeah.
positivity.
But no, so what toxic positivity is, and I really didn't kind of think about this until, and I'm gonna put Pops on blast right now.
Oh
um
boy. Is he here
I,
today?
I
Pops,
don't
you
know,
here?
Yeah, he ain't said nothing, which
I
is
don't think so. Yeah, because he would have been
yeah,
talking.
he ain't he's uncharacteristically non-hyperverbal right now. Um, so
I saw him post a picture of himself today. I said, all right
yeah, yeah. And then post like what I'm about to say has nothing to do with this picture. Then why did you post the picture, Pop? Like he's a funny guy. But so I called Pops and I was venting about something. I was just like frustrated. I was, going through some things. And I'm like, blah, 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 blah. And he kept hitting me with like all the silver lining shit that I didn't want to hear. You know what I
now.
mean? It was like, well, at least this is like, like I think the car was broken down and I got to pay, what I'm saying, $2,000 for that. And this is going on. And just like all this shit. And in those moments, I don't always want to hear like the solutions or the glass half full. Like in that moment, I just needed a place to feel. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I have the money. Yeah, it's gonna get paid. Yeah, it's gonna like it always gets taken care of. But just because it's going to work out doesn't mean that in this moment I'm not feeling the thing that I'm going through.
Right.
Right. And in that space, I just wanted to feel and be allowed to feel. You know what I mean? And so
Hmm.
sometimes I think, and he was while he was trying to be helpful, like there was no ill intent, and he wasn't trying to invalidate, but that's exactly what was happening. It's like you're invalidating the feeling by saying, "Oh, well, at least this." What you're saying essentially is you don't have the right to feel what you're feeling. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't feel that because this, you know, or you don't have to feel. But just the reality is that is what I was feeling.
Right.
And so, when it comes to like the relationships and all this other stuff, um, sometimes you just need somebody that's going to give you that space to feel, you
Right.
know.
And I think
Um,
that was the beauty of Issa and Molly supplying their friendship because
mhm,
they both got a chance to do that. So
mhm,
Molly, classic type A, she's an attorney. Even with her budding relationship with her coworker, like she would never do that. And
mhm,
season was like, I'm just gonna allow myself to
mhm,
be. I'm gonna
right.
be vulnerable. I'm gonna be open, be willing. I'm gonna just be. And she wound up getting everything that she wanted. And I'd be lying if now there's certain parts of Molly I cannot identify with, but I'd be lying if I didn't say like, damn, that shit that hit very very
Mhm,
close
mhm,
to home to just like, okay, I'm gonna allow myself to free fall.
mhm,
And not for everybody, but with my best friend, who are, if you're my best friend, it is, and with this person that I want to build a relationship with, who ultimately becomes her husband. And so I really, really loved to see that because she could not have done that in front of any and everybody. Like she has
mhm,
brothers, I'm sure she has other friends,
right.
but we saw her with those two people in particular have very vulnerable moments in this season, and it really paid off for her. And I think we've been saying that kind of, that's the message in this podcast over time. And no matter what we talk about, really, it's
Mhm.
just like, do what works for you. Stop doing what somebody else says you need to do or what you read on
BF2BY.
a meme or right. Be
Mhm,
free to be you. So
mhm,
I like literally had to stop myself from getting mad reading some of these things. I'm like, first of all, and I'm really not this type of person, but it
mhm,
made me feel like this type of person. I'm not the type of person that feels like because you're not in a relationship or you're not married that you don't have valuable insight. I don't feel like that. But I
mhm,
have read some people's stuff over the past couple of days, and I'm like, that's exactly why you're by yourself.
mhm.
Like I literally can see this is why. If you
Yeah.
are so narrow-minded that you believe that, and of course we're dealing with a a fictitious account, but so many people can identify with it. Like, how many of us have been in a situation where you had the opportunity to reconcile with an ex?
Mhm,
Now, is that always the best choice?
mhm.
No. But is it always not the best choice?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
And
And
so we're
and you have to make that determination for yourself. I think
right.
so many people are missing out because they're looking for validation and approval from the outside sources, and you're the one that has to wake up with this person every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's your life, and I think we're just so afraid to step out and like. I just want people to understand the power in our slogan, in our tagline: "Be free to be you." Right? The freedom and power in being yourself unapologetically
Mm-hmm.
is like none other, to walk in that power. You know what I'm saying? Because and when you do that, you're going to have people at every turn telling you what you should and shouldn't do and what you have to do because but and I have people like that all the time telling me like, oh well, you can't say this or you can't say it like that, or the way you this or the way you think that, and it's always they present it as if my way of thinking or being is wrong, when in reality
Mm-hmm.
it's just it doesn't align with how you move.
Right.
You know, you see what I'm saying? um and the crazy part is when people come at me a certain way, it's okay, like I'm always supposed to be the bigger person, but
Mm-hmm.
when it's in the reverse, I always have to dial back. I'm always having to, you know what I'm saying? um and I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to dim my light. I'm not going to cower because someone
Mm-hmm.
else can't handle it, especially when they were giving me that energy first, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I'm just the type of person that I multiply your energy, you know, even if that energy is ignoring you, you know what I mean? Like I can't, I was given this personality, you know, and I'm done trying to cater it to make other people feel comfortable. You know what I mean? And I don't think anyone should do that. Like, you don't have to change to accommodate someone else. You change to accommodate what's best for you, your future, your life, your path, your trajectory, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Um, and I'm not saying just go out and hurt people and be an asshole, but walk in your power, walk in your purpose, walk in your truth. And sometimes those things change. And when they do change or the trajectory of your life changes, be brave enough to make the turn, you know,
Right. Right.
and go in a different direction. Because sometimes, like, I'm such a passionate person, you know, I believe what I'm saying, you know, and I'm gonna die with it. And then one day I realized, I no longer think that. You know, like that actually was stupid. Now I think
Right.
this. You know, and you have to be brave enough to do that.
Right. Right. And I think while I was kind of going back in my head. I know you laugh at me because I can remember episodes, but we did have an episode called "Listening to Friends," episode 28. So while we're on hiatus, we invite you to go to our YouTube page. Go look for episode 28, where we talk about the validation that we seek from our friends, but also the how it's imperative that we learn how to flex and exercise this muscle to figure things out for ourselves. Nothing
Mhm,
wrong with getting a second opinion, right? Like you need to, need a little think. But ultimately, you are the person that's in control of your life. I like to say, you are the CEO of your life, chief
mhm,
everything officer, right? And so, if that is the case, like you have to live through it. You have to deal with the consequences. And so you have to be strong enough, brave enough to kind of feel that for yourself.
mhm,
And if you can't, then perhaps seek a professional
mhm,
to help you with that, because your friends aren't all the time. Many times they are speaking from their own traumas or their own, experiences that aren't necessarily the ones that you would like to align yourself with. So
right.
you got to figure it out. We all got.
Yeah, because like, look, y'all, it's y'all's path, and only you can walk it. You know,
Amen.
that's just what it is. And when you understand that, like anything else in your life, no one is going to stand before God and answer for somebody else. You know, that's just what it is. When it's all said and done, um, you're going to be you're answering for yourself, your decisions, your choices, and your purpose in life. And did you fulfill that? Like, what legacy did you leave the whole time while you were here? You know, and it's either well done or you know, chill ass up out of here.
Take that, take that elevator down.
Right, right. You
That's not
know,
funny though. I don't want nobody to take the elevator down. I almost feel like I need to open the doors of the Crossroads. Like, if you don't know him as your personal Lord and Savior,
get your
especially
Joe
just after
Osteen on.
Christmas,
This is my
Jesus is
Bible.
the reason for the season,
All of that.
every season.
All of that. You know.
Yeah. So, I mean, would love to know what you all think about Insecure. I did see Miss Jones post something, so I'm going to put it back up on the screen. Just started Insecure thinking I was Issa in my head. This finale has me thinking I'm Molly. Yeah, I could
Mm,
totally, I could totally see Molly. I was like, I never saw myself as Molly. I definitely never saw myself as Issa. Was very scattered throughout this whole thing, and so I don't think I have that part her um very a planner, executor, all that kind of stuff. Like, things have to be a particular way, or at least you want it to be.
mm,
You are concerned about what people think, but you don't always make the right choices. Shoot.
mm.
And thinking about when secure, like the years, I think there's somewhere between like 29. By the time we skip forward a couple of birthdays, they might have been like 34, 35.
Mm-hmm.
I was a whole ass mess between 29
Yeah.
and I started dating hashtag boo when I was 34. So he
Mm.
caught me right when I was making the skirt.
Sure.
Well, he was probably the reason for the skirt, because I could have continued just
You sound like a whole ass Migos song right now. Skirt, skirt.
skirt. I was a mess.
That's.
Okay. But I had my stuff together,
Mm,
right? Like, that's the part that I could see from Molly. Was like, on paper, or as people meet you, looking at your career, all of those types of, or the type of person you are, polished, you got it going on. But these decisions that we were making about men,
so is it really together? It's like, and that's the thing. It's
exactly.
like, right. I think we talked earlier about my conversation with my therapist and defining success, like when people aren't feeling successful or unaccomplished or something like that. And I think it's akin to what we define as being successful. And I think that needs to translate in other part of our lives outside of career. So when we say, like, we often hear, "Oh, have your shit together," what, like, let's define that. Like, are we talking professionally, financially? Are we talking emotionally, mentally? Like, what does have your shit together mean?
Well,
You
for
know.
me, if I can look back at it and define now, it's the stuff that people could see.
Hmm.
Could anybody life pull anything apart? That as long as you could look at it and it looked successful to you,
Shit.
then that
Well, as far as people can see, I was successful than a motherfucker.
uh,
But you knew it was
exactly, exactly,
right.
exactly, exactly.
You-
I was telling my sister the other day, and this is maybe I'm drinking too much, but whatever.
somebody
So
toasty.
I know. So I was just the other day, and this it reminded me of us looking at the Issa and Molly reconciliation. I would say, like, this past year has been phenomenal for our relationship.
Mhm.
Um, she is 5 years and some change younger than me. Not a whole lot younger, but depending on where you are in your life, that's a huge gap.
Mhm.
So, and we are just different people. There are, things that I enjoy that she doesn't, and vice versa. But this year has been so phenomenal for us with preparing for the wedding. I now live very close to her. We've
Mhm.
been apart in terms of like different states for the better part of a decade at this point.
Mhm.
And so now, we're in a place to really like hang out and talk and kind of just see each other's lives. It's not what I want you to see or what I think you want to see. And so she was sharing something with me, and I just, I apologized to her, and I was like, as a sister, and older sister, I really believe my job was to model something for you
Mm-hmm.
versus letting you see what I was struggling with. Maybe you could have said or not gone through certain things by yourself
Mm-hmm.
because you knew, oh my gosh, my sister thought the same thing or had overcome that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, no chink in the armor, right? I gotta present this way so that she has a model, which ultimately wound up, kind of leaving this gulf between us. So at this point, and she shared something with me, and poor thing, like I guess she thought I was gonna feel some kind of way about it. I was just like, whatever you're going through or you experience or whatever, like I'm always gonna be your sister. I'm always
Mm-hmm.
gonna support you, and we probably have a lot more in common than we don't,
Mm-hmm.
and so this is the opportunity for us to kind of let down the veil, and that's something that I had to figure out for myself. Like Issa was saying, like the whole, of course, the insecure, and they tied in that everything about her insecures like was in her own head.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else doubted, what she decided to do with her career and becoming an entrepreneur and all of this. She's, this was in my head. And so I had that same moment where I was just like, wow, I put this on myself to be a particular way. You didn't
Mm-hmm.
ask for that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so, had I allowed myself to be who I was more openly, then we could have had a different relationship altogether. And you could
Mm-hmm.
have benefited in the way that I thought I was helping you to benefit in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a moment, and I'm really, really grateful for that. But to see it on screen, I was just like, "Ooh, me dab my little,
You're right.
me dab my little eyes." It was
Yeah.
beautiful.
And the crazy part is you came up with that notion if when you really break it down simply because you were born first. Like you took on a responsibility based on your age and nothing else.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Um, which is not your responsibility.
And I'm not like 20 years older than her. Shit, I'm
Right.
fine.
Yeah. 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 So, and I just think in a lot of ways people do that um a lot. Like I was having a conversation with a friend yesterday who's kind of going through her mom is in a facility because she had a stroke, but her
Mhm.
siblings aren't really doing much, and she's having to shoulder a lot of the responsibility. Um, but it's like this: I have to, because they won't, and I'm like, well, they won't or they aren't because they assume you will because you're taking it on.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And just that's 2021 had to put me in a mindset, especially professionally, to let things fail. You know, um, things that are supposed to happen that are under my jurisdiction, but it's not my job to shoulder the entire load, right? And so I had to get in a
Yep.
place to where if people aren't going to step up and do their job, then it's not going to happen. And they need to see when they see it's not happening, and they're like, "Well, why didn't we have this? Why didn't this?" Because you didn't do it. Like
Mm.
you're sitting back waiting for me to do it. When my job is not to do it. My job is to oversee and to make sure you do it. That's what they pay me for, and we're gonna get these lines unblurred real quick.
Right.
To be clear, my job is to manage you doing the thing that you think I'm supposed to be doing. No.
Mm-hmm. That's
So,
funny.
right. But it's like that's something that I learned, and that's why I've worked so hard to move up, professionally. A cat named Marshall Silver, and I'm a quotes guy, but he said this quote that I never forgot. He said, "Those who think govern those who labor."
Mm.
You know what I mean? And so I had to ask myself a long time ago, am I going to be a thinker or a laborer? You know what I'm saying? And so, like, nah, I'm not a labor guy. Like, I will labor, yeah, you know, I'll labor to show you how to labor. Um, but more than that, it's like,
Yeah.
So, whoo,
Uh-oh.
um,
We had a we had a slight low. We had a slight low. I was like, uh-oh, what happened?
we had a
We back.
delay. Yeah, I
It
saw it.
was, yeah. But I'm with it.
Yeah,
We here.
right. Um,
Miss Jones, know your role, play your part.
look, all the facts. So I definitely endorse that notion. So to put a bow on it, we've went a lot of different directions today. But what are your what are your final thoughts on just it all?
Yeah. Well, in terms of Insecure, it was a great moment in time. I'm glad that I witnessed it. I remember where I was kind of at the end of every season, even when the show started. And I feel like, along with the characters, there's been a character arc for Dre Renee. Like, not completely different, but I am in a completely different place.
Mhm,
Um, and I thought about something that she said a little earlier about, the work that I've done, and, kind of the grind, and what it takes, so that at this point, it's not complete autopilot, but we're on the way.
mhm,
Applying all of that knowledge at this point, so that I can really enjoy more of my life than, what I did in the late 20s. Most of my 30s was just kind of head down, and you just burrowing through. And so at this point, there's an opportunity to rest. I'm this week right now, as you can tell, I'm not where I normally am. This is week 2 of 3 that is going to be, rest and recharge for me. And I'm grateful for that, because there were times that I couldn't even rest and recharge for one day.
mhm,
Um, so, love Insecure, love what it did for love, what we were able to see on screen in terms of like seeing ourselves. Um, love what it meant to the community, like being able to also see LA and Inglewood represented more than, like, when I travel and have over my life, the only thing that people would really recognize and attribute to us would be like NWA, Boys in the Hood, and
mhm.
like Snoop. Right? And like, nothing wrong with any of those, but it was great to like see the city
Mhm. In a
be.
different light.
Yeah.
Nothing with hard R's.
Yeah.
That shit a whore, cuz.
Right.
Um, my final thoughts is live life without templates, y'all. There's
Mm.
there's there's no one way to do this thing. Life, you know. There's going to be a lot of people telling you to do a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, you have to trust your heart, um, trust that you know your purpose, trust the God you serve, and trust yourself. That doesn't mean don't seek wise counsel, but counsel is merely a guide, a reference point. It's not a to do. Um, and when we get to that place to where we trust ourselves, life starts to look different. You're not always going to make the right decisions, but can you be brave enough to move forward towards your purpose, and perhaps make the wrong decision, but then have the stick to itiveness to be able to see it through in all aspects of your life, love and everything else. And so, while I haven't seen Insecure yet, just because I'm not a series person that watches stuff in the moment, like it took me a year after it ended to watch Game of Thrones, and now I'm a complete Game of Thrones snob. Um, but I'll go back and watch the series eventually. And I wish there was a series like this for men. Like you had the Sex in the City, and then you had Insecure, and then there's this Harlem series and stuff like that. But there's never like a series or episodic that delves into the lives of men, black men
Oh,
specifically.
Mike Hill is. I'm assuming you would know who Mike Hill is. The only reason I know who Mike Hill is married to Cynthia Bailey, but I assume he's somebody on his own. He's like a sports caster or
Mm-hmm.
something. Okay. Anyway, he made that comment today on Twitter. Like he was
Gotcha.
asking actually, like, is there a series? And so people were coming up with all different things where there were black men involved, and he's like, that's
Mm-hmm.
not. I'm saying like girlfriends, like
Right.
Insecure, where black women are the primary. Do we have that where there's 3, 4, 5 seasons and folks are like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. That's
not so much.
that's not
But
that's
would
not
you
a
guys
true.
watch that?
Sure.
Would you watch it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because like we want something to connect to too, and then like let's be honest, more often than not, men are the villain or the backdrop for their pain that they're going through and sent them through these spirals and find it like, and then you get like that one outlier that's a good dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
And
shoot,
it's
maybe we
like,
could be like Issa Rae. It's a web series. Well, I know you
hey,
got other stuff going on. Maybe I'll just
listen,
write me some notes to myself.
that's there's been a couple ideas that I would love to do it, to be honest. I would just have to carve out, like, finish the projects that are already on the table,
Hmm.
and then probably start the process. But shit, definitely. I just
Shh,
think
don't talk
that,
no more about it. I don't want nobody to steal it from us.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So shit, call it the Crossroads.
Call it the cross. Y'all heard us. We're gonna be on BT Plus and
Right.
Amazon Prime.
Branding. Speaking of BET Plus, if you have BET Plus, check out Christmas Deja Vu, starring
Yes.
my little sister. She is the leading lady
Riley.
in Christmas Deja Vu. So check out my baby girl Riley. She did an awesome job.
That was
Um,
such a cute
yeah,
movie. I loved it. I
yeah.
absolutely loved it. Do
So
my
yeah, it
hair.
was
So he
you
got
froze, so
new
I didn't hear.
hair.
Oh yeah,
So yes,
yeah.
Riley helped me get through the installation of said
That's funny.
new
So
do.
shout out to Riley for that.
Hmm.
But y'all, until next time, we thank y'all for hanging in with us as always. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications so that you can join us every time we hop on. And we're in talks of doing this more often, but we'll see. We're still in some production meetings about our future plans. So that
I'm
will be
trying to figure
coming,
it out.
yeah,
But
very
do you
soon.
guys, so those of you that are still hanging around, is there a preference? Like, do you prefer live? Because, we do both. Generally, there are pre recorded episodes that drop every Thursday. Of course, you can listen to them on your favorite podcasting platforms, and then you have YouTube.
Hmm.
A month, generally, we go live like this. We've been going live every week because we haven't had to adhere to a production schedule since we're on hiatus. Is it that you prefer? Whether you're listening live now and you want to kind of drop in the comments and let us know, or if it's on a replay, please drop in the comments and let us know. Do you have a preference?
Yeah,
Do you like?
yeah. So we need all that feedback and information, so that we can bring y'all what y'all want. We about y'all. We do this for y'all. So
What y'all want?
mm, right. It can't touch all of that. On that note, y'all, we thank y'all. We love y'all. And as always, imparting always, remember,
Be
be free
free to
to be
be
you.
you.
We'll see y'all next time. We love y'all.
Peace. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.